Hi, I'm Liz Pierce, and I'm recording this for the Introduction to Human Services class at Linn-Benton Community College. And this is September of 2020. And this is basically to give you a study guide for the most important concepts and theories that you're going to encounter during the course of this term. So I'm not going to be explaining and teaching all of them right now. This is more like to give you the heads up to be watching for these and to know that we're going to be using these throughout the course, and you're going to use them for a long time in the future. So one thing I really want you to understand is about what is a social problem. You see the definition along the side there. You'll have a lot of reading about social problems. It's important to understand those when you work with people so that when a human being is encountering a problem, we see that it is not something that that person has caused, but something that's part of a larger system. Two theories we're really going to look at is Urie Bronfenbrenner's ecological systems theory. We're also going to talk about the hierarchy of needs, but not just not just Maslow's theory. So Bronfenbrenner's theory looks at several systems and the relationship between those systems, and we'll go in depth in talking about that later. You may be really familiar with this model, but I actually want you to really start to be aware of both of these models, the Western model that came from Maslow, but also the indigenous model, which really contrasts in terms of looking at the whole community and self and community actualization in comparison with the individual needs model. So one way to figure out if you really understand a theory is to try to apply it. Try to think about when you encounter a theory, can you apply it to your own life, to what you've observed, to what you've experienced? So a couple other approaches, kind of ways of thinking that we use in the human services field. First, strengths-based approach. So we tend to be strengths-based approach, meaning we try to look for people's strengths rather than their weaknesses. We believe that every person has strengths and also that every community is full of resources. We are social justice minded and culturally humble. That means we're aware of systems of privilege and oppression. Certainly the Black Lives Matter movement that we've all become more aware of helps us understand that, but there are multiple systems of privilege and oppression that we are aware of and will learn about. Trying to understand your own privilege, how your privilege or oppression, how that interacts with the clients, the families you're working with, and being culturally humble, meaning you are learning from other people about their experience and not imposing your own impression or own beliefs about what someone else's experience is. In closing here's a board from the good old days when we met face to face with some of these concepts on here. We will talk about the domains of development, which you've learned about in your human development courses: cognitive, physical, social, and emotional. We'll also talk about human services practice from a prevention, intervention, and remediation model. And we'll work with being mindful, being aware of how we're feeling, where we are, and accepting what we are feeling and acknowledging it and working with it. There will be screencasts or in-person class lectures about all of the things I've talked about in this video. I just wanted you to have this heads up to know what to really look for in your reading and as you're thinking and viewing all the materials in this class. In closing, welcome to you to learning and thinking about the human services profession.